let's get into it. I'm going to mute for a minute or two because he's doing devotion. So let's mute for a little bit. Hello, Benji. May they mute a little bit because class is like just start. First day of class. Yay! Hey. What's in my play one devotional something now, so thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Kitty. From me sit down. Timer. Mm-hmm. So, how are you? How was your day? Me here, me pull out the rolls them. And then I'm here kind of curly and nice. But back to class. We're gonna be on till like 8:30, so it's gonna be a long session. Another day that you have given us, another year. My day was good. And another semester. My day was good. How was school? School was good today. I had 4 classes today. So, thank you for the talents, but it was good. That you have bestowed upon us. Help us, Lord, to remember. You get a notification, mommy? You want us to not just keep those gifts to ourselves, but to share and be a blessing to those around us. We ask you to be with the technology that we're using to facilitate this process, technologies, and help that we may have a meaningful experience in the course. Help us to see the things that are important as we look at the course and the course content, etc. We thank you for the students who are here and even be with those who are still not here as yet for whatever reason. And we thank you so very much. We ask these things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Watch out, come here, I need to park your Benito, what's up, look a bit. Hi, Eric. Alright, so welcome once again, everyone, to our session. And of course, once again, this is Technology and Learning. And I'm your facilitator, Karen Tuma. I'm gonna place inside the chat for you. This is the register. It's a link to a Google form. You can just enter your name for the register. I'm gonna put that here in the chat. All right, so if you do have a challenge getting access to that form, let me know if there is an issue, etc. All right.
It is requesting, sir. I apologize. It is requesting access, denied access.
Oh, okay. Wait, sorry. Let me look at this again. Hi. Oh, okay. Let me just do a quick correction there. Okay. Yeah, should be fine now. All right, great. Thank you for that information. Can you try again and let me know if it's working now?
I think it is good. Thank you, sir.
No problem. All right, so I appreciate that. So I'm going to put the link back inside the chat for everyone. Kindly, once again, I'll be putting this back at different intervals during the class session so you can actually get a chance to note your attendance there. All right, so welcome once again, and we're going to look at the course. I'm going to talk about the course content, objectives, etc. And I guess at some point I'll jump over to Moodle to look at that platform. I think maybe some persons may be new to Moodle. not sure, but just in case you're new to
Hi.
Moodle, we'll look
So
at
I'm in
the
my
general
first
setup of
session of
Moodle and
classes. This class is
how
three
to navigate
hours.
that space.
So it's
I
an
also
introductory
would have
course.
published for you how many persons saw the course outline. Let me just do a quick check just to make sure that whatever I publish, you're seeing it on your side as well. How many persons actually saw the course outline? Just to, okay, great, appreciate it. All right, good. So everything I'm gonna publish is gonna be. Did I say everything? Well, I yes. If there's any challenges with the Moodle
No,
platform, let me just
Jamaican.
mention. I shouldn't say it that way, but well, anyways, what I mean is, if the Moodle platform becomes inaccessible for long periods of time, then I will actually have a alternative to get your course, um, you know, coursework, etc., and other resources accessible to you. So just wanted to bear that in mind because things happen, okay, and I'll leave it there. But for the moment, we are using Moodle, and so we'll take a look at that. But before I go into that, I'm going to share with you the course outline. Okay? And we'll talk about that, and then we jump into the major things we want to get done for today. Let me hand this thing here. All right, great. So, all right, good. So this is the course outline you should have seen. Right. So there's some information there you can look at our page and so on. Course description. There's a lot of information on it. I'm not gonna be reading through the entire course outline, but I want to jump into and highlight. Well, of course, we talked about the faith and learning integration as well. That's important as we navigate the space. We look at faith and learning. Okay, so
Hi.
that's also important. Um, I want to just kind of jump into some things here. I know you can go through and you'll see the additional content in your own time. You can look at that. But let me just jump in here and see the different activities that we have planned and how we're going to navigate the space. 1 minute. Just checking to see what's going on in the chat. Not getting access to the Google link. Okay, the Google form. That's interesting. I'm not sure, Nadine, because I did
Caribbean.
actually
Yes.
share it with anyone with
Thank
the
you for
link,
Caribbean
so
girl.
I think it should now be accessible. Stephanie, I see your hand. Do you have a question or comment? Stephanie?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a question, sir. When you say Moodle, are you referring to something else differently from the Orion? Because I am used to another platform called Moodle, so I'm wondering if that's the one that you are referring to.
All right, so good question, Stephanie. When I say Moodle, I'm actually referring to Moodle. So what happened is that we have two separate platforms. They're yes integrated in a way, but actually Moodle is the learning management side, and ARIN is really what we call the student management side. Well, probably I shouldn't go into all the idiosyncrasies related to that, but just note that once you get access to the course, you're basically on Moodle. Okay, so you will be able to see like the Zoom link. You'll be able to see the
No, her
course
name's not
outline,
Sita.
the different units, discussion number one, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much what I mean when I said Moodle. So I hope it's a little bit clearer. Shortly, I'm going to be jumping over to Moodle to just look at the setup and, just navigate that space a little bit with you so you can see what I'm saying or what I'm talking about. All right, so just give me a moment and
How
we'll jump
was your
over
day?
there
My day
for
was
you to
good.
take a look at that.
It
All
was a
right,
pretty chill
hope
day,
it's a little
so
bit clearer
it was a
now.
good day. Had four classes today,
All right,
so a lot of
so
talking.
yeah. All right, so
Yeah.
great. So, guys, what we want to do today, and I'll just share with you, this is just a little schedule, right? What we want to do today, we're going to be looking at, yes, introduction and course overview. We want to jump into some of the things that we're going to be, well, there's some activities as well that I have over this side, class activities, just a couple, really, based on AP referencing and the use of a technology tool called Audacity. We'll get a chance to jump into that. But I really wanted to show you the course content, what we're going to be looking at. Also wanted to go through, we have a little discussion, presentation discussion segment, and then I will do some demo and allow you also to get some practice. Really and truly, we want the course to be more a hands-on, practical approach where it's not just about listening to me talk or even engaging, a lot of talking. We'll do some of that, yes, but want to mix it up a little bit where you can also get a chance to do some practical work. All right. As a matter of fact, most of what you will do in the course is going to be practical. Okay. So I hope that you're prepared to delve into some practice and you are ready to go.
Nice
So
meeting you
this is
as
pretty much
well.
what we want to do for today. As
It's
you
gonna
can
be a
see, we're going
hands-on
to jump
course, so I'm going
into a
to like
presentation
pay
on
attention.
technology and instruction. I'll do that shortly, and we'll have some discussion in between, and then I'll jump into demonstration and then give you a chance to practice some of the things that I will demo, which includes the use of Microsoft Word, APA referencing, and audio recording and editing using Audacity. For tomorrow, you can see this mini schedule. I just kind of walk you through here. For not tomorrow, actually, it's not tomorrow, okay? It's actually on a Wednesday. Today is Monday. We have class on Mondays and Wednesdays. And so day two, which will be January 14th on Wednesday, we'll get a chance to delve into some more concepts related to technology and instruction. And
So
then we also want
normally
to
our
look at some of
classes
these tools. So we
talks
have a
about
number of different
like
technology tools that
you
we'll
know
talk about. Some of them we'll demo. Want to
Bible
look at
and chit
Microsoft
chat and
PowerPoint and Google Classroom.
plan
And I'm
work,
going to be talking
meal
about the
prep,
different activities
cook
that you
together
have because
everything.
we do have
But from
some
Monday to
projects.
Thursdays we
Well,
have
I
I
should
have
say a couple of
post-grad classes, so
projects
I'm
in the
inviting you
course
guys to come on
in which
here
you're going
and
to
study with
utilize
me
these tools
while
to
we do
do different
classwork
things, okay?
together.
And so
I need
I'll
the
share that
company.
with you shortly.
Okay.
Um, we can also see the additional information. You can look at the schedule and be guided. We want to touch, come next week on some additional tools such as Edpuzzle,
Good day.
H5P, classmarker.com, and others. And we'll get a chance also to look at instructional strategies and even delving into their SURE model. As I said, a
Oh,
lot of the
that's
things that
nice.
we're
Hi,
looking
Jackie.
at, you get a chance to apply them in your
Subscribe
projects.
if you're
But
new.
first, usually what I like to do is to give you a chance after demoing to do some practice. And so your class activities are really practice exercises. You have these for each class, really. Practice exercises. Next week as well, we'll jump into some generative AI. There's a lot of talk about AI and all of that. So I want to give you a chance to, well, put it this way, use the tools. But we'll also talk about some of the idiosyncrasies related to the use of generative AI tools and policies and all these kind of things, and give you a
Great. I'm
chance
also a
to be able
Bible
to make
scholar. I
an
would like
informed
to be
decision,
friends
not
of your
just in
favorite. I
this
really would
course, but
like it.
how you
That's
use it
great.
in
Subscribe so
your
that
other
you can
courses or
stay
whether
update when
your
I
workplace,
post.
etc.,
Every day I
depending
post
on
an
the
episode of
purpose
biblical
for which
obedience,
you would like to
and
do that,
then we
and
cover
you can be
like
guided accordingly.
every little thing
Right,
is to
so
just
once
chit chat
again,
and talk.
we'll be looking at not just
So
web
that's
tools,
great.
we'll also be looking at a lot of the tools that we have available, such as in this case, Microsoft Excel. And we'll also look at how, well, first of all, we'll talk about student-centered versus teacher-centered strategies, different strategies we can use within the classroom, and even what we call the flipped classroom approach, which is kind of what I would like us to be doing in the course, but I guess we'll have to warm up to that really. And we'll get a chance to actually use Excel in an activity that we have or an assignment that we have for you, which I'll share with you shortly as well. All right. We will be also giving you a chance to create, some of you already have your YouTube channels or other content that you have created, and other platforms that you have used to create content and make it available to your student. Will give you a chance also to enforce or reinforce that. For those of you who haven't, we'll give you a chance to get started on that. So you have a YouTube channel and different tools you can use, including PowerPoint, which is a very powerful tool. We get a chance to delve into some of the other things that PowerPoint can do, and give you a chance to practice doing that. We'll also get a chance to use Google Forms
Nice.
in various ways, yes, surveys, quizzes, and all of that. And you get a chance to also see additional tools that can be utilized within the Google space, and appreciate the collaborative nature of those. Um, and we'll, yeah, talk about maybe access in terms of the access controls you have within your Google Drive and other cloud storage facilities, and how to manage that. In this course too, you get a chance to create a website. Some
Hi,
persons are
I'm
pros at
doing
creating
good.
websites, which is great.
How are you
Others are
doing?
novices. Wherever you are in your journey, on your website creation journey, will get a
I'm
chance to
from
use
Jamaica,
a tool that is simple enough
the
to
Caribbean.
get us up to speed with that. So we'll be talking about distance learning and looking at some of the different concepts related to that from the authors of the textbook that we're using here. And the textbook, by the way, is Instructional Technology and Marino, Luther, and Russell. And we'll see some other things that they're talking about, but we'll also get a chance to see the different ways in which we can use, technology and different tools to be able to facilitate learning. And there are many things we're going to be doing. Some of them you would be familiar with, others you will be just learning for the first time. But once again, we're here to share together. I know you have different experiences that you bring to the table, knowledge and experience, and we'll be able to share it together. Okay, in terms of the
Yes.
course assessment and the coursework that we have planned, we want to show you those. There are two assignments, two projects, two discussions, and lots of practice activities. Okay, so assignment number one is going to be based, or is based on AP referencing. All right, and you can see this should be very simple for you. Okay, and I'm going to share with you a little bit of details that we have on that, but this is a basic information that you'll have here
Thank
to
you.
work with, but the details you'll see on Moodle.
Thank you
I'll
very
jump over
much.
to Moodle shortly, okay? And project one now is going to be based on setting up your own learning management system. In this case, using Google Classroom. All right. Once again, some of you have experience in this. It should be no problem for you. But for those who don't, then this is something new. So it's going to take some effort from you. But once again, just ensure that you look at the information that I publish, and I'm going to share with you just shortly. The files are up here, actually in the same space that I'm here. But I'm going to stop the share so I can share that with you. So these are some of the things that you want to have. It's not the detail, just the skeleton, right, of what you want to have in your Google Classroom. And the details are shared shortly. So for assignment two, you'll create an electronic gradebook. Once again, some persons are familiar with Excel. You're great. You can do a great job. Wonderful. Okay. For those who are not, then this is where you get a chance to now familiarize yourself with Excel and also the different functions and so on that you can use to be able to get that gradebook created. And I'll share some things with you as well. Then project number two is where you create your own website. Once again, some persons are pros at this. Great job for those of you who can do this already. Good. But remember, the whole idea is not just about what you're able to do, but for these projects, you want to ensure that in a meaningful way, we try to, to make it as kind of realistic as possible. And in this case, we're looking at specifically um,
Hope it's not
for your
mosquito
content for the
disturbing.
website to
Yeah,
be based
mosquito
on
disturb me
artificial
now and
intelligence.
then
Okay,
a lot.
so this is a big thing, and in a real sense, you could actually create a website that you share information to your students and so on. And so want to make it as realistic as possible. All right. I'm going to stop this share, and then I'm going to just show those specific files that I have related to those different materials. Then I jump over to Moodle, and I'll show you where you can find those material as well. One moment. Are there any questions? You can once again indicate by raising your hand, and then I'll take those questions that you have momentarily. Okay, so this is assignment number one. Let me hide this thing here. Okay, this is assignment number one. This is the AP referencing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through it, just to show you the document that is there, and the information is there to guide you, and you can just take a look at that in your own time. All right, the details are there, and this is for assignment number one. Remember, we have two assignments, two projects, two discussions, and many practice activities. All right, so this is the assignment number two, is based on Microsoft Excel. This is the electronic grade book, and this is what it looks like. This is a document that outlines the different things that you want to have in your
Really?
grade book. Okay,
I
different
wonder where.
elements. You can take a look at that. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. So whereas your assignment one and assignment two is really based on Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel, your projects are going to involve a lot more tools, a lot more technology tools. Remember, this is technology and learning once again, and we're going to take a very practical approach. So you're going to be using different technology software tools to do different things. For the project, you're using Google Classroom to create a learning management um, platform for your students to be able to get access to different materials. So you want to make it realistic. So the whole idea of what I have here is pretty much that. So for example, you're going to have a lesson plan. And by the way, this lesson plan is, remember, we're utilizing, right, the different, not just technology tools, but also concepts that we're looking at in the course. We'll look at the Assure model, and so want you also to incorporate that in your lesson planning. We'll look at technology integration, and so we also want to see the technology integration in your lesson plan as well. All right, so that is very important. You also, we will be looking at PowerPoint. It's good for making presentations, and so we also want to see that you're going to be using
Hey,
PowerPoint,
hello.
right,
We're
to
in the middle of
have some kind of
class. How are
material
you
there for
guys?
your
How you
student.
guys
I
doing?
won't tell you
I
what
focus
to
on
have,
class.
you determine that, but as long as it's relevant and aligned with your lesson plan and so on and so forth. You can see also just to kind of cater to different learning styles, etc. Include a video, okay, and maybe some activities too. That would make sense. And also, we're using Microsoft Word as well. You can use Microsoft Word to create assignments, and so create an assignment using Microsoft Word and have it in your Google Classroom as well. We will
You there?
also be utilizing Edpuzzle, which is a very powerful tool for creating video quizzes, etc. And so we are going to ask you to do that here as well. And we have Class Marker, which is a good tool that is used for testing
Yeah, I'm in
purposes,
Jamaica.
for test quizzes. And so you also wanted to incorporate that. I'll also ask you to create a Google Meet link, right? And publish that for your students on the Google Classroom. And there's some other idiosyncrasies that you can see there. You can follow. For this particular assignment, though, I should probably mention this that you're going to share or you're going to enroll at least one student, which is going to be me. And the email address I want you to use here is kn2@gmail.com. All right, for that for the Google Classroom
Make it
enrollment.
your visa. Okay, so
So for the project number 2, this is the website.
send the
Okay,
visa money through the paper.
the website is gonna be based on using Google Sites. That's the tool we're using. Okay, and so you're gonna create this website. It's gonna be based on artificial intelligence course. It's gonna be for a course, and so you get a chance to choose that course. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what to do there. You choose. All right, so you create the website, give it the name, the AI name. So whether you have AI
First, you
for
have a mom
tomorrow,
because my mom.
AI ethics for everyone, etc. You decide.
Roman,
But there
that's
are some
okay.
things that we
Are
want
you
to
okay? Yes,
see,
I'm
and
okay. How
so,
are you
for
doing?
example, a course rating survey using Google Forms. We got a chance to use Google
Me
Forms
a
again
joke,
to do
Roman Black.
something
I'm
meaningful.
kidding.
Let your students rate the course. You have a course rating survey there and some description of what you need to have there. You share the form with me as well. You can use, in this case, any screen recording tool of your choice. Yes, you're going to be creating a video, right? And for this one, yes, we want you to this to be originally your video that you created, your own content, and in this case, yes, your own voice, just like I'm speaking to you now, your own voice, right? So ensure that you
Thank you.
once again
This
you
class is
create
going to
this
be
video
something. I have it for
and
four
you
weeks.
upload it on
Please pray
your
for me.
channel. You're going to share it with me privately, etc. So the details are there for you, so you can look at this in your own time. But this is pretty much what we
Things are
have
going well
for
with
you
me. You got
for
social media so
projects
we
1
can
and 2,
talk there.
assignments 1 and
I'm not
2.
really
All right. Are there any
checking my
questions on that
descriptions
before I
and you will
jump
still
over
like
to
my
Moodle?
YouTube and my
All
TikTok
right, just to show
there.
you the
I have a
Moodle
YouTube and
platform
my
and
TikTok.
what
So
we
check
have
in my
set up for you.
YouTube descriptions.
Um, so Moodle once
You see it
again
there.
is where I will share
Good
or
to
would
hear.
have shared some of these
Yes,
things, but
AJT, how
all
was
of
your
them
day?
are probably available yet, but they have been published there. So if I jump over to Moodle, one moment, make sure that I'm okay. If I jump over to Moodle, this is Moodle. Let me hide this again. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is Moodle. I think I need to close
God, I put this
these
class before
ones.
your
Okay,
hands. It's
good,
going
good,
to
good.
be a lot.
So
I'm asking you
this
Lord
is
for
Moodle.
wisdom, knowledge, and
All right, this is a Moodle
understanding, the
platform right
tools
here.
and the people relevant for
And
me to
so
ace this class.
I
In
don't
Jesus'
think I've
name I
published
pray.
all of the units
Amen.
for you as yet, but at least the first
It's
unit,
gonna
so
be
you
a
should
lot.
be able to see the
Hi.
course outline here,
Somebody
and
said that they like my
you
nails.
should be able to see unit number 1. Sorry. So I hope that you're seeing that on your side. And unit number 1, you can see all the different things that I would have published for you already, and you can see the handles and so on here. All right. In addition to that, you should be able to see, yes, discussion number 1 is there, and the due date is given here as well. So once again, guys, just go ahead, look at what is there, and if there's a question or a query, you can ask. But get started on the discussion number 1. You don't want to wait. You have 2 discussions, and basically the first. What did I do this? I think yes. So the first discussion you have, I think this is about 2 weeks. Yes, 1 week, 2 week. 2 weeks for each discussion. So start with discussion 1. By 2 weeks time, that should be finished, and we have the next discussion. Right. So you don't want to wait too long with that. Assignment number 1. Start with assignment number 1, which is APA referencing. We're gonna go through some things today. And also, what I'm going to share with
The
you
teachers
is
have to
there's
move.
a tutorial
Shh, don't say
website
that.
that I have for
A
those
class,
who
a
say, oh,
3 hour postgrad
I
class,
don't
so
know
you're
how
not
to
gonna talk
cite
enough.
my source using, the Word to cite in APA format, no problem. I've created videos for you. I just need to embed. I haven't embedded all of them here. I've just embedded maybe one or two. But once again, if you do
Yeah,
need,
it's
I
a
can
relative.
share the additional ones with you so you can have the full list of tutorials to guide you, all right, offline, etc., or in your own time. All right, so just look at those and be guided accordingly. For the project as well, I've put some things there. Once again, it's not an exhaustive list, but you have some things to work with. Uh, Look at
Your
those things.
nails so
For the
much better.
practice
Thank
exercises
you.
too, you do have a practice that I've published for you for today. I'm going to go through the stuff, the demo, and then afterwards give you a chance to do some practice on your own. All right, and you also have that with the Audacity as well. All right, so I don't think I've published unit number 2 yet. I'll publish that shortly, but I think for what you have already in unit number 1, you can. And another thing too, ladies and gentlemen, download, yes, download the files that are there, because you don't want to wait until, I shouldn't say it that way, but sometimes the system may not be available. That's just the reality that we have seen in recent times. So I would say to you, once you have the access, just go ahead, download the things that you need to download, have them offline, so that when you need them, you have access to them. Okay? Are there any questions based on anything I've just said? I see a hand. Yes, go ahead, Alexia. That's you.
Yes, that's me. Good evening. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, I'm unfamiliar with the discussion process. How do are we sending on the document and sending it to you? Is there a forum?
Sorry,
I'm unfamiliar.
go again. You're unfamiliar with
The discussion
oh, discussion.
process.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the discussion, yes, it's an online form. Okay, so how this discussion works is a good question. Appreciate that. How this discussion works, I'm just clicking on that as we speak, is that is a question answer form, right? So there is a question or a statement or something that I would have shared here. So, for example, discuss one drawback of using technology in the teaching and learning process. All right. So
I just
that
supported your little channel.
that discussion
Why would you do that?
pretty much is what you're going to,
Plant-based black
or that
man.
statement is what you're going to discuss about. All right. I think there's something that an additional step that I needed to do here though,
Hi.
and I'll publish. So let me do that.
LK and
Probably closer to
1Z.
the end of the session, and then I'll share the guidelines with you as well. There's some guidelines, for example, ensuring that you respond to one person's another student's post, at least one, and ensuring that you there. I think there's a word limit or something like that, like maybe 200 words or something. And I did say that you need to cite your references. You practice the whole idea of referencing, because the whole idea also is that you can research information while you are putting together your thoughts. You can look at what is out there, and you can share those sources as well.
Thank you.
So I will correct this because I need to do one more step before you're able to do that discussion, and then you'll be able to participate in that. All right. One of the other things to note with the discussion too is that it gives you a period of time in which you need, or not need necessarily, but if you need to make changes or you want to make changes, you can make that change after a certain time. I think it's 30 minutes after your post. You can't make any changes again. So be aware of that. And once again, that's just based on how the discussion, online discussion format, question and answer format here works on this Moodle platform. And also, another thing too is that you cannot see somebody else's, another student's post until you have actually publish your comments on the form. Okay, so it doesn't give you the ability to see what others are doing on the form until you have made your first post. All right, and even so, it
Hi,
still
hey
takes some
guys.
time before it allows you to. I think maybe an hour or two you
How
have
are
to
you
give it
guys
after you
doing?
finish making your first post to be able to see
Mm.
the other's post and then make a comment or reply to those persons. All right. All right. So yeah, I will correct that and add the guidelines for you a little bit later, so you'll be able to see that and get started on that. But remember, once again, in addition to the discussion, you have assignment number 1 and 2, and you also have your activities, your practice activities. So you have quite a lot there. All right, to keep you busy. All right. Any questions on this? I want to jump into a little presentation discussion session that we're gonna have, and then we will move on from there with the demos. So I'm gonna stop this share
Hey, but
and
you're
okay,
called to
great.
love everybody, aren't you?
And let me find my file here that I'm gonna share, and we can segue into that discussion. Okay, so let me put
I
again
don't
inside the
smoke.
chat for you
I
to
set
register
plants on fire and breathe,
attendance.
my dear.
All right, so this
Hey,
is a way
little bit of the
we're
same
doing it. So you
thing.
can go ahead, you can sign the register here. Um, Nadine, are you now able to get access to the Google form?
Yes, I did, sir. Thanks.
Okay, just checking. All right, appreciate it. All right, great. So I'm gonna put that back inside the chat here. So once again, just go ahead and add your name to the form just to take care of your attendance if you are here, present, and accounted for. Gonna do it a little bit differently today. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna jump into, and once again, this file I'm sharing with you, just as you saw there, is already published for you on the Moodle platform. So you do have access to this and other materials as well, okay? All right, great. So let me go over to, yes, let me go over to this PDF document, and this is what we'll be discussing at this time as we segue into our discussion. All right, let me hide these again. Great. Yeah, so what we want to start off with today, ladies and
How
gentlemen,
was
is an
graduation?
introduction
Graduation
to
was
technology and
beautiful.
instruction. And once again, we're looking at
Graduation was so
the
good.
text Instructional
Said
Technology and
something
Media
new
for
to me. I do.
Learning by
Hi,
Smaldino, Luther, and Russell.
Fasha
And
Kelitso.
let's look
Hope
at
I
some
said
of
that
the things
properly.
that they're saying
How
about
are you doing?
21st century learning and learners, as well as educators. And by the way, feel free at different points. I'll bring you in. This is a discussion, it's not a monologue. I don't want you to think that I'm, when you go to church, you just sit down and this is not church, okay? You just sit down and listen to the preacher. No, I'm not a preacher, okay? And so I really want you to, I want your feedback
I'm
and I
called to
want you
love
to
everybody, so
communicate
yes,
with me as well.
love you.
Some of the things that they discuss here in this opening chapter is looking at today's learning environment, looking at technology and its role, its ever changing role. And we're going to be talking about, I know what's on your mind, AI and other things. We'll get there, okay? We have a segment that will go through and talk about that, but we'll get little bits and pieces here and there. We'll talk about that paradigm shift from the traditional to a more 21st century or maybe AI driven, right, learning approach. Well, they talk about some key literacies as well, right, and technology standards for teachers, copyright issues, all these kind of things. So we're going to get a chance to add our own bit to this discussion. So let's see now. Let's see what Russell, Smaldino, Luther, and Russell are talking about here as we look at what they call the classroom continuum. The classroom continuum. And by the way,
Hi.
guys, maybe I should ask you, where are you in this classroom continuum? Are you at phase one, dabbling? Are you at phase two, doing old things old ways? Or are you at phase three, doing old things in new ways? Or maybe phase four, new things in completely new ways? And what does that look like for you in your classroom? Well, I'm gonna ask you that question, but let's look at what they're saying about these different
Mm.
phases. So, phase one, dabbling, and they're saying here in dabbling, you're looking at using technology randomly, or just maybe you're just trying out technology. Like when I say, okay, guys, try using Audacity, and tell me what you think. Just dabbling, right? Dabbling in it. So that's phase number one. Phase two, old things always, they're saying, is when, for example, a teacher display the lecture note in PowerPoint rather than using overhead transparencies, right? Old things in old ways. Okay. So phase three now, doing old things in new ways. This is where, for example, a teacher would use a virtual 3D model, right, of something to demonstrate the structure of a compound rather than drawing that on a whiteboard, right? And of course, phase number four, doing new things new ways, is utilizing the power of technology and media, but in new and exciting kind of emerging ways in which we're even seeing a lot of the AI stuff that um, we're using in corporate. And by the way, guys, do you realize that AI is almost in? I'm trying to use my word cautiously, is almost in every single aspect of our lives right now. I don't know if you realize it or not, but it's almost everywhere. I was just looking at, there's it's called Consumer Electronics Show. Okay, let me put that in the chat.
How are you today?
I don't
I'm
know how
doing
many
well.
persons
How are
know
you?
of this show. Consumer, I'll just put a short CS. Just look for it. Okay, CS 2026. Every year in the United States, they have this show called CES. And by the way, there are many other technology shows and events and forums and all of that, right? Every single year. Apple have their event, Google has their event, Microsoft, all the big players and small players and everybody. But at this event, you can see many players, and they all have different technologies that they're showcasing. Some of them are educational as well, and it's amazing to see how much it is just rapidly about not just generative AI anymore, even though AGI, right? Artificial General Intelligence. There's talk about agentic AI, and not just a talk, but some implementations of how it can work in different ways, including within the classroom as well. We want to touch some of that a little bit later as well. But this is really what phase four would be about, right? If you look at a lot of the tools that we're using now, or well, when I say we, not necessarily me or you per se, but we have different platforms out there, right? That are, yes, massive open online courses, and others. You have Khan Academy and
I
others like
agree,
this.
Vasal.
They're incorporating, or
He is the
have
way, the
already
truth,
incorporated
and the
the
life.
use of AI tools for personalized learning,
Hmm?
customized kind of a learning environment,
Hmm?
testing, etc.
Oh,
And many persons are concerned,
no
yes,
check.
about where we
But,
are in phase number
oh yeah,
four,
check it.
because phase number four
Me no check it.
can seem a little bit daunting, not just because some of us feel left behind, like, okay, I don't know how to incorporate this thing in a ethical way, maybe, or responsible way, or well, I don't want my personal information to get
1 million
out
have
there.
left
So we
forget.
have all kind of different concerns. This is something new. And by the way, there are policies, there are standards that are being developed, and all these kind of things to try to so this part is always playing catch up, and we as educators are always playing catch up.
Hi.
In phase four, that's pretty much what it is. We're trying to catch up with the technology and
I'm in
how it
class right
can
now.
be
I just pull up
used,
my locks.
right, in different ways. Some of them we have not yet explored, right? We've only kind of, scratched the surface, so to speak. All right. So I think the question I want to ask you though is, where are you in your technology, in this classroom continuum, right? Your technology use. We are once again talking about technology and learning. So I want to hear from you at this point. So I'm going to pause and give you a chance to speak. Where are you in your technology? Give you a chance to
Hi.
share in your technology
God's power. Welcome
use.
here.
I see Stephanie. Yes, go ahead
With
and
what
share
I
with us.
thought.
I am at phase one, phase two, and phase three.
Okay, all of them simultaneously?
All of them. So it depends on what I am doing or what is required of me in my
We're
job.
studying.
Okay.
I may have to double.
Uh,
I have to use old things, old ways, and
absolutely.
sometimes old things and utilize the new technology or the technology that currently exists.
I got you. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about phase four because I don't remember ever doing new things, new ways.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how that would be for me.
All right. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, Stephanie. We also have Alexia. Go ahead and share with us, please, and then I'll go to the chat.
I'm at phase three, old things, new ways. But I'm trying to use AI. Trying to use AI
Okay.
to elevate management for the students who don't know what they need, but
Okay. Okay, wonderful. And I like what Stephanie was saying. She said she's not sure about phase four. Well, phase four are new things, and that's what I said. When you think about a show like
We're in
Consumer
class. The
Electronics Show, I
first,
want you to make an
each of
effort.
my classes
Probably
last
not
for
now,
4
but later,
weeks.
check
So
that
this
out on
is like
YouTube.
week
Look at some of the
one. So I'm
new
going to
things
re-edit
when I
the
talk about
title.
new
So
things,
week one,
innovative
class
tools that I
one,
have,
week one,
especially
class
the
two,
educational
week one,
ones,
class three.
that you can see. Oh, cool! This is an interesting tool. This is new, right? New
16.
things, new tools,
No job
and
gonna
you can
say.
use it to do some things that maybe you never thought. Wow,
Hi, with
when you think
13 now.
about things like augmented reality or maybe even mixed reality and all of that, robotics. Do you know that in some areas of the world, I see Stephanie again, and then
86.
I'll mention what I'm going to talk about. Some things that happen in China and other places. Yes, Stephanie, go ahead. I see your hand again.
By the time this is done, we're going to reach first
I'm not sure
already.
I understand new things, new ways, because I'm thinking new things, maybe new technology,
Yep, new
So I'm going to
technology.
mark
new
some
ways.
people.
But if it is that, and I'm thinking from the perspective, if it says new
I'm
ways,
probably do
there
it
must have
tomorrow.
been
I'm
an
not
old
sure.
way.
Depends on how this left me.
Okay, I guess, there's always an old way of doing things. But pretty much it's not, we're not talking about anything off the top here. It's really just looking at the emerging technologies and tools that are out there and how they're changing, for example, the classroom space and how students learn. So no longer, do you realize you can even use AI? AI is new, by the way. When I say new, in terms of how it's being used, the generative AI concepts and tools, okay? Do you realize that you can even use this tool in such a way that the tool itself can become maybe an assistant to the student, or even help to guide the student with a more personalized, customized type of learning experience, right? That you may not have been able to do before there was such a technology or a tool. All right. So we're gonna once again navigate this space together. I'm sure I don't know all the innovations out there, but some of them I can talk about the ones that I know and how those work and how they can help in the whole teaching and learning experience. So not just on the student side. I'm also going to share with
My
you
love, martial arts,
how
relations,
tools
and
can help
sports.
you
Hi
as an
there, Miss Cam. How
educator
you doing?
in
I'm
doing
doing
different
well.
things. and we'll get a chance to even
My
practice
love
with some of these
is
tools, by the
content
way.
creation, the
So I see two more
Bible,
hands, and then I go to the chat. I
and more
realize
stuff
there's a
like
lot
that.
in the chat there. So Anne Marie and Juliana, go ahead,
Did you
and
have
then
a good
I go
day?
to the
I
chat.
did. I had a good day today. It was pretty chill.
Okay, I'll go first. Good
I had a very
evening.
good day.
For me, I'm at 4, but not necessarily within the classroom continuum. I work in the business process outsourcing center, and so we use a lot of technology. For example, prior to this era, we would have done a lot of role plays, just verbally, having the agents or customer service representatives do it, themselves. But now we incorporate AI to assist with that. So that's new things, new ways, things we didn't
Awesome,
before.
awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Juliana, you need to share with us some of the ways in which you can use those
Guys, if you're
tools,
new
since you
here, please hit
have
the subscribe button.
some
Yes,
knowledge
I
of
am
this.
in
So we're
a
looking forward to that. All right.
relationship,
Appreciate it.
happily
All right. Anne Marie and Nadine.
in a relationship.
Yes, I think I'm at stage 4 or phase 4, sorry, because I do use technology. Uh, for instance, I would use a program called Kami, and with that we use like drawing tablets or graphic tablets, so we're able to like do online writing, or even in the classroom the students might be able to write.
Okay.
And there are other things that we use, like what's the name of that thing?
Honestly, can we
It's like
answer
I
that
use an
already?
interactive module that connects to my laptop, and then people
Guys, we
can
are one
actually
subscriber away
control
from
my
hitting
laptop from the
600.
ordinary whiteboard,
Awesome.
projected
Get
that
there.
and so on. So
I think we
I
can
think
get
I'm
there.
like the ad phase 4.
Awesome. Awesome. I appreciate that so much. Then I see another Nadine. That was you. Okay.
Yes, sure. I'm definitely at phase 1 and 2. I
Okay.
I am hoping I'll be able to manage 3 and 4. I'm looking forward. It sounds a bit scary, but I'll try.
Hi.
Thank you for your honesty, Nadine. I tell you, I appreciate that. And let me jump into the chat. And while I'm in the chat, I want to just say, guys, that this is not necessarily a sequential thing, and you may not necessarily for everything be at phase 4.
Yes or no?
As Stephanie was saying, depending on what you're doing,
No, I
if you're
don't give
trying
up my
out new
WhatsApp.
things,
I
it's kind of
am
like
in a
maybe a step
relationship,
by step
so
approach
that's
kind of a thing.
off the
Okay, so
board.
first, usually you
But
dabble,
you
you don't
can
just go
subscribe. We
straight and you're a
can,
pro at every
check in with
single
each other
new and emerging tech that
on
just
this
come
type
out,
of
right?
forum
You
while I'm
go through a
doing
process
lives and
just
so
like a
forth.
child.
But yeah,
Try to learn,
that's
feel
mostly
around,
it.
and so on and so forth, and then you get a chance to hone your skill. But we'll get into that. So let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Okay. So Renice is saying maybe between phase 2 and 3. Gracian is saying that phase 1 for some things, however, primarily phase number 2 and 3. Okay, and Abigail between phase 2 and 3, depending on what task. Yeah, as we were saying before, good. Um, Tasana, you're saying that's Tasana, phase number 4. Eileen,
Guys, we're
phase
almost
1,
at
2, 3, and
600
open to
subs. I'm
learn
seeing a lot
4.
of new people coming.
Release,
Guys,
okay, definitely
subscribe.
phase 3 for Mika and
Subscribe.
Sir Williams. Okay, phase 3 and phase 4 for Sakina. All right, so yeah, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, that there is always something new. I mean, how should I put it now? Don't feel comfortable,
Yay!
or
We're
should I
finally
say,
at
well, you can feel
600.
comfortable if you're
Thank you,
good at
guys.
something. But remember, today you have one technology, and this is the in thing. Tomorrow another one, or probably another version, and you're like, oh my, you know, what just happened? Something just changed, and you have to go back to the drawing board once again. Phase 1, double. So things are always changing. So don't get too comfortable thinking you are the pro, right? Because once you become comfortable, then basically a lot of things are going to be related. So how do we navigate this space? We'll talk about it another time. I don't want to do it. So how do we navigate this space? We'll talk about that another time. I don't want to dabble too much in that right now because that's not my focus at the moment. But we'll get a chance to see that a little bit later. Annalie, you said phase 2, 3, and 4. Nicolette, I'm at phase 1 and 2. Some observation, phase 3 and 4. All right. Foster is saying phase 1 to 3 as well. Yeah, so once again, depending on
We're
what
back. The
technology
internet
you're
was giving
learning currently,
issues.
then you're gonna
So
start from scratch, right? Okay. So I appreciate you sharing that. So I'm gonna put again for you inside the chat the attendance Google form here, so you can go ahead and just sign that. Yeah, let's get back into the discussion. So this is what the authors are saying. Once again, if I ask you to come up with your own classroom continuum or model, so to speak, in terms of looking at traditional to the digital classroom, I'm sure you could come up with something quite different. Okay. All right. So that's that. But let's jump into some of the other things that they talk about here. So technology, the integration of hardware and software is what we're really focusing on. I know the word can be used to mean other things like strategies and all these things, techniques and all of that, which we'll look at some of that as well. But primarily, we're delving into the hardware and software aspect of the technology concept. One thing that the authors mention here, ladies and gentlemen, and I want us to really note this, is that technologies do, do not automatically, maybe I should overlap that word, it doesn't automatically make teachers more capable. So, sometimes we like to say, oh, I'm using, AI, or I'm using all these wonderful tools and technology, and you're like,
can you
okay.
do a face squish?
And even too,
Do a face squish?
it's great to use the tools, but is it adding to
I don't know. What's a
the
face
learning
squish?
experience? I mean, is it making for a better learning experience, so to speak? And by the way, students enjoy the technologies too, and I tell you, I gave an activity, and these are some of the things that you can do on the student side. I mean, ethically, you can allow them to use it in terms of helping them with preparing maybe for an interview or for a test. Okay, and that's for me is okay because there are
I'm
certain
from
prompts you can even create
Papua.
too
I don't know what you just said.
that you can ask the
Hi, how
AI
are
to
you
guide
doing?
the
Hello,
student to
Jeffrey.
the expected
I'm doing
result,
okay.
but
It's the
don't tell
beginning
them the
of
answer, so to speak. So
post-grad
you're helping with their
classes.
critical
So we're
thinking,
here studying
right?
together,
Anyways,
vibing.
back to this
We're great.
concept that the authors are saying technology doesn't automatically make teachers more capable. It's really how you use the technology. That's one, the objective, the purpose, and how you use it. We're going to talk about a little bit later too how we go about selecting using rubrics and all these kind of things, selection rubrics, right? The best or most suitable, I should say, technology tools to use for particular class or objective or lesson, etc. All right, so there's
How
a
are you doing,
number of
Jeffrey?
different guiding elements that you want to look at as you think about incorporating technology. Is not just randomly or arbitrarily just grabbing some tool and saying, "Oh, this is a great tool to use, so let me just use it," right? Um, so that's something to think about. I do know also, ladies and gentlemen, that there's a challenge. When you look at a typical classroom, oh yes, I remember I was going to talk about China and some other places. Yes, in the North American region, you could see a typical classroom, right? And depending on where you are, whether you're at the secondary, and I've taught at both the secondary level and the tertiary level, okay? So I remember being the computer science teacher at a particular school, and yes, I had to, well, at that point, I was helping out with, managing the lab and doing different things. So I was able to do different things to be able to make it work, like the lab space, right? For the students that we had, because we had obviously more students than computers, okay? And so there's always gonna be that issue where you have a constraint with the
I'm
technology.
fine. Okay, that's
But this is
great.
where, as teachers, as facilitators of learning, educators,
We
etc.,
are.
that you now become creative. You're masters of your craft, so you can be
Do you
creative. You can
remember
think,
me use a
okay, how do I,
shuffle?
have
Yes, I do. You're one of my
10
moderators.
computers
Because
and
I see a
40
text that say come in
students?
with the
How do I teach this lesson? How do I teach
tool.
programming?
So
Well, I
yeah.
remember even when back in my days, I like to tell students this story because it's true. I was studying computer science and I never had a computer, okay? I didn't have a laptop, but I was working at the computer lab. When I said that a few years ago, I was working at the computer lab, so I was able to, after work, I was able to, well, I wrote down my code on paper, by the way, and then I compiled it. I had to make sure everything is right because I didn't have a lot of time to play around with, right, to be able to do that. But you can find meaningful ways to meet this technology
Which
gap
country
and
if
this,
you
this issue
remember me?
as we
I
have
think it
this
was
constraint, especially here in
Trinidad,
Jamaica. I don't
Haiti.
know about the other
Trinidad,
regions.
Haiti.
Some of you
One
may
of that
not be
one.
from here, from Jamaica, and so you may not know what I'm talking about, but we do have a lot of
I
financial
know it's at it too.
constraints within the
I
classroom.
believe.
The good thing with technology, such as the internet, is that it can expand, as they're mentioning here, right?
Which
A
country
lot of
then?
this stuff that we're doing outside of the classroom. So, and this is where, as I said, what I want you
Hello.
to do
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
able to do in this course, and even if you're already doing it, to really beef that up a little bit, is to go
Uganda.
into
Yeah,
content
for real.
creation,
My bad.
meaning have
My
a
bad.
kind of
So sorry.
passion then for creating content for your students, okay? And in different ways,
How are
this will
you
help.
doing?
I
I'm
mean,
doing okay.
you can create
I'm
videos,
trying to
audio.
keep up.
Oh man, I want to share
I
so
have
many
3 hour
things with you
classes and
guys,
I'm
but we'll
like
get there.
1 hour
So
in, so
apart
two
from
hours
the
to go.
normal
Trying to
tools,
keep
there's
up.
some AI tools that I'll share and how those can actually do great wonders for you in terms of some
How
of
are
the
you
things that
doing?
you're trying to do. All right. And
Mm.
we know for a fact that we can store a lot more information, in our Google Drive and other things that this make this technology in general, hardware and software. Because when you talk about cloud storage, you're really talking about that hardware facility that you're using. Yes, it's halfway around the world, and the software component, obviously, within the email or the drive, to be able to get that information stored and accessible to your students. Okay, so they're right on target. Those are the benefits and the drawback that we just mentioned. All right, so let's look at teacher-centered instruction, and this is just kind of looking at once again the whole
Hi, I'm new
idea of
here. What's up?
technology and
Hello,
media
guys.
and
So I'm
having
here. We do a lot of
being able to
faith-based
facilitate
lifestyle,
the process of
fashion,
learning using
food,
technology and
study
media to
with
support
me,
that. And
content.
so a simple thing as a PowerPoint, right? We often take it for granted, but it's a powerful thing, right? And the whole idea that they're saying here is that as you think about your instruction, as you think about your strategies, etc., you want to ensure, excuse me, that the objective is that you're going to be promoting meaningful learning experiences for your learners, okay, or providing. And effectiveness, once again, depends on planning and selection. We're going to talk about the selection of technology, using rubrics, using different tools to help guide us. So, one of the other things that I brought out here as I go to the chat just to see what is happening there, okay. Um, no, so good question, Abigail. No, once you sign already, so you're good to go. I just keep putting it back just in case there are others who have not yet signed, so I appreciate that. All right, so once you've signed, you enter your name, you're good to go. I just, want you to, I want everybody to be able to get that done. So at different points, maybe you're driving, I don't know what's going on your end. So at a point in which you're able to, then once I put it back in there, then you can do that. All right, good. So, all right. So one of the things that the authors brought out here, looking at the International Society for Technology in Education's National Educational Technology Standards for Teachers. That's a mouthful, right? It's quite a lot. I'm sorry, guys. It's quite a lot. But I want you to check out this organization because they're doing a number of things. They have a number of resources. And by the way, they had a training the other day, AI-based training. I don't know if they still have it, but I'll probably check on that. And somebody probably will remind me to check on that and share that information. But if you go to this link, did I put that inside the chat?
Hi, how's the family? The family is
Let me
doing
just put this
okay.
inside the chat. If you
We're,
go to that link, where's that link?
trying
Let me
to
just grab the link.
adjust
Okay, one
everything.
moment.
I'm from Kenya. Hello, my
If you go
fellow
to this
Kenyan.
link here,
Please subscribe if you're new here.
all right, additional information there. But they talk about these standards, right, for teachers, okay, to facilitate and inspire student learning and creativity, right, to design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments, okay. And so we can, there are different levels of this in terms of, you know, this
It's
whole
good to see you.
digital
Yes,
learning experience thing.
it's really good.
And as you go from in terms of your continuum from
So,
phase
what
one
was
to
it like
phase
in
four,
Uganda today?
you will be
Are
able
people
to
from
see that you're
Kenya,
learning and growing
Uganda?
in your
How
experience,
has
as
it
well as,
been?
you know,
Hope you
the
guys are
students
doing well.
themselves are should be, that's how it should be,
I hope so.
actually. So as you go from phase one to phase four, it shouldn't be that you, the teacher, is having a great time using all of these and all the tools, but the students are, yeah, are not. Okay, both the student and the teacher should be growing, but we're going to look at the next for students as well. But this is that. So facilitate and inspire student learning. There's a creativity part too. Model digital age work and learning. So, you know, the students want to know that you are a model for them or role model for them in the sense that you're using technology too. Because if you're like, oh, I'm not going to use any technology, I'm going to stay away from that, I don't really like technology, then, you know, they're probably going to be disappointed. Okay. But if you kind of model that for them, then they'll see, oh, my teacher used technology, you know, she's not afraid to incorporate this tool or that tool and so on, he or she,
You cool. Have you
right,
eaten?
and so
Yes.
on. So
I
you
ate
help to
baked
model what you're
chicken,
looking for in students as well, in terms
baked
of, and not
chicken,
just using it too, but using it
rice,
in an
some
ethical,
peas, and pak choy.
responsible way. So we'll talk about that too.
Then I had some
Engage in
cinnamon
professional
toast
growth.
crunch cereal.
And this is very important, guys. As I said, this particular institution or organization, that's it's day, right? They actually provide kind of training and professional development opportunities and all of that. So I was privileged to be a part of one of their training earlier last year. All right. So let's talk about the students' use of technology as well. So what is the role of technology in terms of, you know, once again, what we're looking at here? So to teach, right, the instruction, and also what the technology facilitates or allows to, you know, is to help kind of what we call have a flipped classroom approach where teachers are more managers, right? And student manage their own learning. We're going to talk about the whole metacognition and reflection and all of these wonderful things that I know some of you are practicing, some of you are pros currently in your own neck of the woods. And you can, you know, maybe share with us at a particular point in time how you do those things and what makes it effective for you. But what you're saying here is that students today require technology to be a seamless part of the process. So when we say, oh, we have online classes, this is nothing to students. I mean, they're used to that. All right, seamless. If you say, oh, we're going to have a
What's
test on class
up?
marker or
Hi, can you fold your hair,
tool, or we're gonna have,
please?
you know,
No, if you
AI
fold me here. My
tools
hair
used
like
to do this
twist
or
right
that.
now. My hair
Is
is longer
something
than
that
this,
is
you
a
know.
part of what
My
they
hair
are
is right
used to
here.
already. Interactive tools, right? So tools that make the process interactive, and interaction can come in many different ways. Interaction can simply be tools that like PowerPoint that allow you to embed some questions, a video that you can watch and ask questions, or it could be maybe even using animations and make the content come to life and all these kind of things. So whichever way or perspective you look at it, interaction is important, right, to students, and I'm sure you will like that too. As educators, if you have a little training or presentation, you don't want it to be like a monologue, right? You want it to be kind of interactive. And so we're going to be looking at some
Thank
of these
you. Bye,
interactive
good
tools by
night.
nature, and even other tools that you can use and make it interactive. Okay, and we'll talk about collaboration too. All right, we'll look at some of those, but this is also part of what
Hi, guys.
Small Dino, Luther, and Russell are
Hey.
saying in collaboration with ITSTE about today's learners. Okay, now there are some literacies that they have, and I would probably add to this list. I don't think this is an exhaustive list of different literacies that they have for today's educators. But maybe I should ask what you would add to this list before is that as we go throughout,
Did the
we
app
can
work for
see,
you?
yes, the
I
whole
tried
general
downloading it, but
literacy,
it never
reading and
get.
writing and all of
Me
that.
could download. Is
Text
it for
literacy, being
laptop
able
or
to
phone?
create
I'm doing okay.
different text using different tools, word processing tool, and all of that, and to be able to even create it in different ways, creative ways, and publish it somewhere. Could be a PowerPoint, etc. Computer literacy, we have long past that everybody now is expected to be computer literate, right? Distance learning, yes, because learning at a distance is something
Phone,
that is
computer,
a
and thing.
norm,
Okay, I'm
especially
gonna have to
since
try it
we
again
had
then because
COVID,
hi
right?
Carlton.
And then there's the
I have to
cyber
try it again
learning
because I tried downloading on the
literacy
phone, but it
as
wasn't
well.
downloading.
Focusing on the internet specifically, because
I don't know
distance
why
learning could
this wasn't
also
downloading.
mean that you probably just have some videos on a CD or DVD. There's some schools that actually do that, and you can learn from there. Visual literacy, looking at creating different visuals, audio, video, and media. And today, our really content creators, so you get a chance to create, right, a lot of different content, right, content creator. So, and the whole idea, right, the whole idea here, guys, is that there's a lot of content out there, yes, but when you create content that are more specific and aligned to your objectives and the class, it helps your students to be able to focus, because even I find
How
that
is
when
your
I
mom?
create
My
some
mom
YouTube
is
videos
good.
and
I
share
think
with
she's
them,
on one of her lives right now.
they're able to be
But
better
she's
guided,
good.
because some things that are out
Oh,
there may be
Nathaniel, are
too
you and all the
complex
eldest
for
sibling?
for their understanding, or is going off from the objectives that we have planned for the course, or maybe just talking about something completely
I'm doing
different.
okay.
All right, and
How are you doing?
so you want to really be able to create content that is specifically for your class, and that will focus them
I'm the
in
only
on
child of my
exactly
mother.
what
Okay.
you want them to
How
know.
old are you, if you don't
I
mind me
see a hand
asking?
there. That's Juliana. Yes, go ahead, Juliana.
Yes, I would add information security literacy that can be tied into cyber learning.
All right, great. I appreciate that. And anything else anybody else would add? So, any other literacy that you think is important here?
But I have two brothers and two sisters by my father's side.
What about
Okay.
AI literacy?
Bonsoir.
Anybody think that is important?
Amiga. I'm gonna
Yes,
be
Tamika, I see your
25
hand.
February 5th. A day after Valentine's.
Good evening,
Yeah.
everyone. I was just
Okay.
about to mention AI literacy because With where I'm currently posted, I'm seeing a challenge where students have the artificial intelligence available to them. They just don't know how to use it, and the ways in which that they're using it, they're just typing in something vague, and then they just write whatever it is that
Absolutely.
comes up.
Absolutely.
So that is actually so very important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. There's some programming literacy too, yes. As Gracian mentioned that in terms of programming, I remember years ago, Bill Gates, a lot of celebrities, even what's his name there, Zuckerberg and others were saying that coding will be the new literacy. They didn't say will be, they say is the new literacy, right? And now we were seeing a lot of AI stuff and what we call prompt engineering and all this kind of thing. And even some persons are worried about their jobs because of the power of AI and what is able to do. We'll come
Hi
back to that another
Enrique,
time, but AI literacy is
Roboto,
definitely something that and
Fantasiano,
AI, by the way, is very broad. It's very, very
Fantasiani,
broad. There's generative
Fantasino,
AI,
yeah,
there's
something like
all
that.
the different kind of segments. There's machine learning, all these kind of different expert systems and so on. Large language models and terms being thrown around. We'll get a chance to look at some more of that. But definitely we need, and that's why the whole idea of literacy, meaning you know more about the subject, you're able to use the tools appropriately, excuse me, ethically, responsibly, etc. And you are now able to, yeah, reach that level which you can feel confident in
Data has
not just
over
talking, having a
600 from
dialogue of the tool, right? So that's important. But you already know where we're heading, and the authors definitely agree that these tools are great. But guess what? And even when it comes on to AI too, we have this discussion, ladies and gentlemen, right? Legal rights, legal. I was trying to remember which. Yes, I saw something where there are many different instances out there where persons are trying to copyright um, AI generated work. I don't know if you have seen that, right? But there's a lot of debate, a lot of pushback. Persons are saying no, you can't. Creative persons who say no, that art piece looks just like something that I created, right? You can't go and you know um, get a generative AI tool and let basically those generative AI tools can actually scrape a lot of these platforms, scrape the web, we call it, which is just simply go on the web, learn. So these tools learn, quote unquote, like how babies would learn in a sense. There's a concept called machine learning, right? So when you see AI generating different images or different videos, it's not like they just happened out of thin air. They would have been fed a lot of these different images and videos and text and all of that, right, from all over the web. Okay, and that's how they can learn. That's why they can distinguish between a dog and a cat because there's some training that goes on to say, oh, this is a dog. We call it supervised learning, and there's unsupervised and reinforcement learning and other categories of these things, which I'm not going to go into all of it, but just to let you kind of see the whole idea behind what some of the authors are saying. So if I have my work on a website or something, and then these generative AI tools get access to it, and then use it back now to quote unquote create additional work, then those you can see why those authors are going to be saying no, this is not fair that you can use this generative AI tool, come up with something and say, oh great, I've created a new art, so this is mine, this is my original work, when that was actually based on somebody else's work that the AI learned from. Get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of debate about that, and there's a European um, legal system
How was your guys' day?
kind of more strict than the US based one.
What did you do today?
Right? That
What time
will
is
not
it there?
uphold a
It's
lot of these
7:05
different
p.m. here. What time is it
AI
over there?
tools generating original, quote unquote, original work. Right? So that's a very sensitive area right now. And of course, generally speaking, when you go on the web, guys, we want to assume that everything, including images, and confession is good for the soul. How many of us go and look for an image and did not, we didn't actually, give credit, right, to the creators or wherever this image was sourced. So you have to be more conscious of that. Images, even music. I remember the days,
Congrats.
we used to download a lot of movies and
700 now.
music and all of that. But people still do that. But then now you have a little bit more consciousness of, oh, this is somebody's work, and you just don't want to do it like that. So once again,
How was your
just
day,
mentioning
Benji?
all
Where
of
did
this
today?
for us to
Seeing
reinforce
that you're
that
here,
all
what did
material
you
is
do?
copyrighted
206
unless
in South
stated
Africa.
otherwise. By the way, you do have
I
some that
am.
are in
You
public
need to go
domain.
to bed
When we
soon.
do, when we look at information, um, looking at like Googling information and all of that, find information on the web, then I will show you some of the different ways in which you can, filter out certain images and so on for those are Creative Commons or public domain, etc. Right? And you can utilize those. And sometimes too, you'll see this in like if you do an insert image from like PowerPoint or Word. Basically, what they're using is the public domain images. Okay, and there's some of those works. Microsoft would have worked with creators to and have some agreement that they can use those legally. So yeah, once you do it from inside Word, it's not as bad as if you just randomly grab some image somewhere and just throw it into your document, right?
You go river
So just be
again.
aware of that.
Okay, riverboat.
But as teachers, we're role models, and so the students are going to be observing you. As a parent, you can tell the children, "Oh, don't do this," and they
No, we not
won't
endorse
listen.
that the 6-7
But they're more
foolishness they
focusing
do
on what
that
you are doing
because
or not doing.
no, Jimmy,
Right?
we
You want
not
to
say that.
model what you want your students
We
to
not say that. We
do
not
as
endorse that.
well.
Sorry, my dear.
Right? So I hope that
But
makes
no, the meaning
sense
behind
to
it.
you. So they're just once again just reiterating that educators need to ensure
No,
that
no,
they
no, no, no. We not do
avoid
that.
this copyright issue. There is a fair
We
use
rebuke
though
that.
that we do use some of these work,
We do not come in
for
agreement
classroom
with anything
purposes,
related to that.
right? You don't photocopy the entire piece, you don't photocopy the entire, but the portion of it, small portion, that's fine. Right? See, we're complete professional, just that. Okay. Um, but what you also find, there's a lot of emphasis now on accessibility features that are utilized on these in these technology tools like software that enable persons with disabilities to get access easily to reading different material, etc. With a magnifier, or even in Word, you have a feature that you can dictate, you can read things and so on and so forth, and it types it for you. So some of these things are also positive in a way for those persons with disabilities. All right, and here once again is a reference for what we discussed today. All right, all right, guys. So that's pretty much the end of this little discussion. Once again, we would have talked about the different the continuum phases, phase one to phase four, moving from the traditional to the digital kind of environment in which we want to be. And we would have also looked at various technology standards for both teachers and students, talk about some of the literacies, copyright concerns, etc. We're going to segue now into a little demo section. I'm going to stop to share any questions at this point or comments before we move on. I'm going to share with you again for those who haven't signed the register. Wait, yes, good. For those who haven't yet enter your name on the register, just go ahead and do that. I'm going to put that in the link in the chat again, just for those who haven't done so, okay? If you have already done so, great, I appreciate it. And your attendance has been recorded. But if not, please go ahead and do that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, so let me stop this share once again, and we're going to segue now into a little demo section. What are we going to be looking at today? We want to look at two tools.
Guys,
Word, which or should
yes, awesome, definitely.
Also want and these are two tools that are they're not web based. Well, I shouldn't say it that way because there's a online version or the 365 um, version, live version of Word, etc. But they're offline tools, and that's fine. Everything can't be online, right? Well, it could, but we'll look at some offline tools as well. So let's jump into Word, and we'll look at some of those things that we want to share with you right now. All right, so let me share my screen here. There we go. One moment.
Turn up the light a little bit. I love these gold hoop earrings.
All
They're
right,
so
so
cute.
Microsoft Word. Um, some of the things that we want to focus on. Let me need to hide these. Some of the things I want to focus on is primarily in the references section. But I'll just do a quick going back to home here. Of course, most of us are familiar with Microsoft Word. But if you notice, something new has been added. I'm not going to go into Copilot right now, okay? But if you should notice this Copilot symbol. I didn't add it. I think it's just automatically that they're just like infusing this, and it's happening right across the board. If you're using Bing or Microsoft Edge and Bing search, the automatic, or if you're using Google search, they automatically infuse their Gemini, right, AI tool into that, so that the first option you have, or you also have AI mode. So all of this is just happening. So whether you like it or not, it's there as an option. There's also the editor, and the editor is pretty cool. One of the things I like with the editor too, there's a feature. Um, wait, let me see. Click on the editor. There is a feature. Um, yes, it's here. There is a feature called. Well, there are lots of features. Refinements, the correction, which is usually the ones that we look at with spelling and grammar, right? You also have inside different documents, stats, and so on. But there is a similarity feature, so it checks for similarity to online sources. So you can do a check, you're going through your document just to make sure that you haven't or you're taking any content that you haven't acknowledged the source, etc. Right, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And by the way, guys, there are add-ins here. So if, for example, I'm not gonna go through add-ins now. Uh, there are many add-ins. There are math-related stuff, and a lot of these things are AI. I mean, have some AI component in it too. Okay, so there are lots of add-ons you can add for different additional functionality, etc. Drawing or meetings or whatever you have there. There's even the dictate. So you want to click on that. Hello. Hello. All right. So there we go. All right. So you have so many different tools right at your fingertips now in Word that makes your life a little bit easier. of getting your documents done. Okay. So what I want to look at, I'm just gonna talk about the referencing portion, and then I'll jump into some other things. But maybe I should do it this way because I had started something. One moment. Let me stop this share. Oops. Give me a second. I'm gonna share a different way so I can actually move back and forth because I started something. I'm just gonna work with those documents that I already started, so you can see some of the things I was doing here. For example, I was gonna say here that if you, if for example you do a lot of drawings or writing, you can jump into the draw menu, and here you can do a lot of things. Okay, you have pencil, different things you can use. All right, to just draw. I don't know, whatever you want to draw. And the cool thing with this one is when I select the ink to shape, is that it will make like your shape very perfect when you do the drawing. So if you want a circle and you, this is how you can draw it. But then because I'm choosing that option, there's option, and this is all in the draw menu. There's option like for the drawing canvas, ink to replay, ink to math. So for the math part, yes, you can write your math formulas here or whatever it is that you have, and it will simply make it, all right, into something that, yeah, there you go. You can insert that, looks a little bit better, etc. So there are lots of different features that you can check out and just see how that works for you. And one of the other things I was looking at, let me see over here. Okay, I was looking at the feature of the table of contents, which is pretty cool as well because sometimes you just want to automatically generate the table of contents rather than, I'll be honest with you, if you have 100 pages and you just want to get that automatically done, this is a good way to do it. All right, and how it works is that you're going to be using the heading styles feature, which you can find in Home Sweet Home here. All right, in the style section on the ribbon. And once you make those, like for example, you have a research paper or something like that, so you have an abstract, and you have, right, maybe you have an introduction and a method, etc., results page. Once you make those as heading style, and there are different levels of heading, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, etc., you can do that too. Once you do that, you can go to the, let me just go back. I'm just gonna undo this. I think I can, let me just remove the, one moment. I was showing something else here, but I guess if it says normal, let me show you. Right. All right, I delete, remove everything there. So what I had here, so what I was looking at previously before this section was a watermark. I just put a watermark here, you can just remove it. But in your design menu too, you have a number of different things, like themes literally can change a lot of things, including colors of your heading styles and other things. That's the themes will do that. Okay. Here you have a number of different colors that you can add for your themes. Some art, and here you can add in if you want to. If you need to, you change the page color and other page borders, all of that. Right? You can add that in your own time, apply to the whole document or just this section, etc. But let me just jump into this, and then afterwards I jump into the referencing. Okay. So what I was saying here is that you can add the table of contents automatically. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be applying heading styles to these sections that I want to have in my document, and then after that I'm going to generate using the option for table of contents that I have, the table of contents automatically. So you apply that. Just want to keep this left on here. All right? Just gonna apply the heading 1 in this case. Control L using the shortcut key to left align, or you can just align your um, content using the paragraph grouping on the ribbon. Alright, so
I'm getting
results page
sleepy.
as well.
Not gonna
Just
lie.
apply that. Control L. Get that over there. And that's it for now. I'm going to come back to these tables here and
One
talk
hour
about
and
that
10
too.
minutes to go.
Alright, so once you do that, all you need to do now, and Control L again, okay, I'm just going to do Control Enter to get that on the next page. I want to leave this so that, okay, anyways, I'll go back to References menu, and then I'm gonna go to Table of Contents. And here you have the built-in features. I'm just gonna work with the automatic table 1. Click on that, and it automatically now will generate the content. Just backspace here or delete to get that on this page, and then Control Enter to get this on the next page. Okay, great. So once you do that now, you notice that it will automatically generate your contents page with
What
the
in the
page
most
numbers,
drama is
everything
going on
already
here? I
there.
don't know.
If you make any changes, you
A
can
lot of
always
work,
update. You can use the update table. Honestly, do you want
a
to
lot of
update page numbers or the
classes.
entire table? You choose based on what you know, changes you just made, etc. What I was doing
So
here with
we're
the
in post-grad
so
classes now.
usually
So
within a
we're
research
studying
paper,
together,
or if you're doing
vibing
something
together,
that
doing the
has
work together.
tables or
That's what we're
figures or
doing.
charts or whatever, you can add captions. I'm just gonna remove these, right, and then re-add them. So you have a table and you have a chart, right? So you
Counting
can
down
always
time.
just add using the insert caption option here for the table first. All right, and you can see here you have the caption, label, and in this case I'm going to select the table 1. It can be anything. I'm just going to say table 1 is the results table or something like that, and that's pretty much it. It will just add that there, and same thing for the chart. I'll just simply put my cursor above. It could be below depending on where you need it. It's above now. So I'll just do that, figure 1, and I'll just mention here, this is just
What a
a
blessing to see.
chart. Alright, and click on OK. Now you can also insert these inside the, it can be inserted, I should say, inside here in the content page. So you can use this option, insert table of figures to do that. And I'm just gonna click on that, insert table of figures. And then I'm gonna be, in this case, you have the leader option. You can leave it or you can remove it. You choose. The first one is the table, so I click on table, click on OK, and there's my table. And then in this position is what I want the figure, so I go back, insert table of figures. It's on figure now, the leader, tab leader is there, so that's fine. And you simply insert both, and so you have both of them now in your table of contents, and you can nicely present that, right, to your instructor, etc. All right, the next thing that I want to talk about is the referencing part, okay, the citation part, because you'll be doing a lot of citations. And so if, for example, I'm just gonna just do something arbitrary, computers, or maybe I talk about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will um, take over the world,
My day
will
has
be
been
the next
good.
big.
It
All right, there we
was a
go. Who's
long
saying
day,
that?
to be honest.
All right, so I'm going to insert a citation
Very
here.
long day, but it
And
was good.
once again, we're
No
still in the
complaints
references menu. So
whatsoever.
we're showing you the different things
I'm
you can do in the
grateful.
references menu, right? So I'm going to go ahead and insert citation, add new source, and let's pretend I wrote a book. So I'm going to click here, author, book, type of source, author,
Thank you,
edit
and same to you as
on the
well.
right. my name in, or the name of the author of the book. There we go, and just put that in. Good, and add. So if you have multiple authors, you add, you type in the credentials or the name, and you add. Okay, and when you're finished, you click on OK here. Title: AI and the Future. All right, the year it was published. Let's make it happen. 2026. City: Mandeville. Publisher: let's say NCU Press. There you go. And yeah, that's it. If you want to, there's other bibliography fields. You can check this box here to show all bibliography fields. You can go down, see the authors are there. If you need to put those in, you can use that, okay? In this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to work with the shorthand form. Click on OK, and there we go. Notice the style that is currently there, still once again inside the reference menu on the ribbon in citation and bibliography. Notice that the style is GB 7714, and if I just click on AP, you notice that will change, or I can click on IEEE and that will also change. So the cool thing that I like about this is that you can enter your source once, and by the way, your source will still be there, see it there, and at the end of the day, so I'm going to change this back to AP. By the end of the day, if you want to change it, you can change it. If I go to, let's go to the last page. I'm just going to insert another page, right? And then I'm going to go back here. So when you're generating your reference page, right, you can use references here. The APA usually is references. I know for Emily's works cited, that is used in terms of the term, etc. Okay, so you can click on references here, right? And once you click on references, and I just use the bibliographic feature to do that, then it will generate, so all the references you have inside your document, right? If you need to follow this, you can, align it left or whatever, you could still do that. But all the references that you have in the document will actually be generated here. So if you have 10 references, all of them will be generated here, okay, on this reference page. So this is pretty cool. One of the other things that I like too, you can go back to manage sources. Okay, you can use the manage sources. So if you have additional sources here in this master list that you want to add, right, you can actually add those sources. Okay, so if you want, this is a list, you can copy this over here. You can remove, delete, etc., edit, and add new, and so on. Okay, so that is something else that is pretty cool. So hopefully that is a little bit, um, hopefully that's a little bit more meaningful for you in terms of using this for this assignment that you have, assignment number one, where you're going to be using a lot of the features here for the references to generate your reference. Well, insert in-text citations and then generate your reference page at the end. Once again, there's a tutorial that I've created already that you can use to guide you, and you can look at all the things that I have there for that assignment. All right, any questions on this? All right, in the meantime, I'm going to put again for you the, let me go and copy this. Okay, I'm going to put again in the chat for you. All right, so you can see that.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
The question I had, I think someone in the chat is also asking, your recommendation is for us to use this version of Word, right? Not the online version, because they're, as it relates to citations and some features, they're completely different. They're not on the online version.
Yeah, so that's a good observation. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah,